What's up, everybody? This is Big Sarge back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be explaining to you the 15 Tango MOS for the U.S. Army in case this is what you want to do with your military career. So let's get into it. All right, so you're scrolling through military job descriptions, trying to make sense of all these numbers and letters like 11 Bravo, 25 Uniform, or 68 Whiskey. And then you stumble across 15 Tango. And the title says UH-60 helicopter repair. But if you've never worked around helicopters or military aircraft before, then all of that probably means absolutely nothing to you. Now, don't worry, you're not alone. In this video, I'm going to break it all down for you. So whether you're thinking of joining the Army, are curious about aviation jobs in the military, or you're just trying to understand what your son, daughter, or friend signed up for, this is your go-to guide. So let's go ahead and talk about what it really means to be a 15 Tango in the U.S. Army. Exactly what is a 15 Tango? So the military job code 15 Tango, this stands for UH-60 helicopter repair. More specifically, this person is responsible for maintaining and repairing the UH-60 Black Hawk, which is one of the most iconic and widely used utility helicopters in the world. But here's the twist. A 15 Tango isn't just a mechanic who turns wrenches on the flight line. Many 15 Tangos also get qualified as air crew members, meaning they don't just fix the bird, but they actually fly in it as well. That's right. As a 15 Tango, you could be hanging out the door of a Black Hawk during flight, manning a machine gun, or helping load and unload troops or supplies during real-world missions. Now, before we go any further, let's talk about the machine that is at the center of it all. That's the UH-60 Black Hawk, and this is a twin-engine, medium-lift utility helicopter. It's kind of the Swiss Army knife of Army aviation. It could be used for troop transport, medical evacuations, cargo missions, air assault operations, VIP transport, search and rescue, disaster response. This thing could do pretty much anything. Now, the Black Hawk has been in service since the late 1970s and has proven itself in every environment, from the deserts of Iraq to the mountains of Afghanistan to hurricane zones in the U.S. In short, it's a workhorse, and 15 Tangos are the folks who keep it flying. Now let's talk about exactly what a 15 Tango actually does. So let's break it down into two major parts: maintenance and air crew duties. Let's talk about maintenance side first. So most of a 15 Tango's work is focused on inspecting, diagnosing, repairing, and replacing components of the Black Hawk. And this includes hydraulic systems, engines and transmissions, rotor systems, fuel systems, flight control mechanisms, and electrical and avionics components. So you'll be using tools and diagnostic equipment to perform routine maintenance, troubleshoot problems, and keep the helicopter within Army safety standards. And these tasks, they can range from simple inspections to full-on engine removals and rotor system builds. Now let's talk about the air crew side, or the flight status. So once you're qualified and placed in a unit with flying Black Hawks, you may be assigned air crew duties as a crew chief, and this is where things get real. So as a 15 Tango crew chief, you'll do things like conduct pre-flight and post-flight inspections, secure and supervise cargo loading and unloading, provide in-flight assistance to pilots, operate door guns such as the M240 or the M249 machine guns, and you'll be scanning for obstacles and threats during missions. And this is the part that gives the job some adrenaline. So you're not just behind a wrench, you're in the sky and you are a part of the mission. So now let's talk about, where do you go to train to become a 15 Tango? So all 15 Tangos, they start their Army journey just like everybody else. You go to basic training, which lasts about 10 weeks. And while you're there, you're going to learn soldiering fundamentals. You're going to be marching, shooting, getting yelled at by drill sergeants, and a whole bunch of other stuff. And then after that, you're going to move on to what is called AIT, or Advanced Individual Training, which is held at Fort Eustis. It's officially now known as Joint Base Langley Eustis. And AIT for 15 Tangos, this lasts approximately 14 weeks. And during that time, you're going to get hands-on experience with real helicopters, tools, and maintenance procedures. So it's a combination of classroom learning and practical application. And while you're there, you're going to learn how to read technical manuals. You're going to learn about safety procedures for working on aircraft. You're going to learn how each system in the Black Hawk works. And you're going to learn how to remove, repair, and replace critical components. And some soldiers are also going to get the chance to attend additional schools for aircraft certification and gunnery qualifications later on in their careers. Now, the next question is the 15 Tango MOS considered a combat job? Now, this one's tricky. Technically, 15 Tango is not a combat arms MOS. You're not on the ground kicking indoors like an 11 Bravo. But if you are on flight status, then you're definitely in harm's way. So think about it. You could be flying into a hot landing zone with the troops. You could be escorting medevac missions. You could be operating a machine gun out the side of a helicopter. And you could be conducting disaster relief in unsafe areas. Now, you won't always be in direct combat, but you'll often be close enough to feel the heat, literally and figuratively. Now let's talk about the pros of being a 15 Tango. And why do people choose and love this MOS? Well, some of the reasons are it is a unique experience. So not many people can say that they work on a helicopter for a living, let alone fly in them. And this is a cool factor that is hard to beat. Then there are career skills. So you're going to walk away with real world mechanical skills that translate into civilian aviation, automotive, or industrial careers. There's flight time. So if you qualify for flight status, you're going to rack up hours in the air, and that can lead to FAA certifications and future flying opportunities. There's unit camaraderie. So aviation units are typically tight knit. And there's a unique bond between the pilots, crew chiefs, and maintainers that makes this job feel more like a family. And then there's deployment readiness. So if you're the kind of person who wants to go overseas and be involved in missions, the 15 Tango just gives you that chance without necessarily being in the mud every single day. Now we have to talk about the cons of being a 15 Tango. And some of the cons are there are long hours. So aircrafts do not care if it's midnight. If there's a mechanical issue, you're going to fix it. Aviation maintenance, this often means late nights, weekend duty, and long days. There are physical demands. So you're going to be crawling inside of helicopters, hauling gear, working in the heat, and sometimes in bad weather. Flight status is not guaranteed. So not all 15 Tangos get assigned to flying units. Some remain strictly groundside working as maintainers without the aircrew perks. And then there's stress and responsibility. So remember, you're working on a multi-million-dollar aircraft that other people's lives depend on. That's not a small burden. Now let's talk about some civilian career opportunities after you become a 15 Tango. So one of the best parts of this MOS is the civilian crossover potential is strong. So jobs you can pursue after the Army include the following. You could be an aircraft mechanic for civilian or defense contractors. You can be an aviation maintenance technician. You can be a helicopter crew chief for private security, air ambulance, or firefighters. You can be a FAA certified airframe and power plant mechanic. You can be an aerospace manufacturing technician. You can be an aircraft inspector or quality control specialist. And you can be an aircraft logistics or operations manager. And if you rack up enough flight hours and get the right certifications, you can even pursue pilot training in the civilian world, especially if you take advantage of your GI Bill. Now, the next question is, does this job pay well? Well, here's how the pay works in the Army. Your job or your MOS does not affect your base pay. Your rank and time in service do. Now, with that being said, 15 Tangos, they often qualify for flight pay, which is an incentive pay. They also qualify for hazardous duty pay and special duty assignment pay if they're on flight status or they're deployed. Plus, you get the usual military benefits. So you get free health care, you get a housing allowance, food allowance, the GI Bill for college, VA home loan eligibility, and retirement savings. So basically, your pay and your benefits, all of that stuff adds up. So our next question is exactly what type of person thrives as a 15 Tango? So this job is not for everyone, but here's what makes someone a great fit for this MOS. If you love working with your hands, you're mechanically inclined, you have good attention to detail, you like the idea of flying or at least not being on the ground all the time, you can stay calm under pressure, you're okay with getting dirty and sweaty, and you want a job that actually means something. So if that sounds like you, then the 15 Tango MOS, this might be the job that you're looking for. So let's go ahead and wrap all this up. If you want to work on high-tech helicopters, if you want to be a part of life-saving and mission-critical operations, if you want to possibly fly as aircrew and man a machine gun, if you want to build a future in aviation or mechanics, and if you want to serve with purpose in a high-stakes environment, then the 15 Tango MOS might just be the perfect blend of mechanic, technician, and warrior. It's not a desk job. It's not easy, but it's definitely one of the most badass and rewarding support roles in the U.S. Army. So if you're looking for something more exciting than the average military job, and you don't mind working hard to earn your wings, then don't sleep on the 15 Tango MOS. It could launch your career, literally.